All right, so the key thing we want to look at when we're trying to understand our dog, the first thing is we need to understand how our dog communicates. Obviously, our dog is not a human, so we have to really be conscious about not thinking about our dog in terms of how humans communicate, because humans are naturally verbal beings. They're verbal communicators. You guys are listening to this video, you're listening to me give you this information. We're learning verbally through verbal communication. Your dog does not learn like that. Your dog learns through visual, silent communication. I'm doing these hand signals right here. As I'm talking, they're actually subconscious to me. I'm not really consciously thinking about them. My body's just moving as I'm talking. So we have a lot of these little subconscious cues that we do throughout our days. Guess what? Your dog, because they're a nonverbal being, they're a visual communicator, they're picking up on your subtle cues and they're understanding what you're saying, what your energy levels are based on your non-verbal signaling, okay, your silent signaling. So your dog, we know it's a non-verbal being. The way they're communicating to you is going to be non-verbal as well. So I want you to be thinking about your dog, picture your dog in your head. One of the things I want you to think about, I want you to visualize your dog. I want you to first think about your dog's tail, all right? If your dog has a docked tail, that's going to be considered a handicap in the dog world, but you still will see the signs I'm about to talk to you about. So if your dog's tail is upward, that's going to signal from your dog that they're feeling dominant or confident, all right? The higher it is, the more curled it is at the top. Even if your dog doesn't have this tail, and I know you've seen one before, you know what I'm talking about. That means that dog is feeling confident and dominant, all right? And in that case, your dog might try to correct another dog. It might try to correct you. It might just be feeling really good, really comfortable. So the context, the situation that you're in is gonna play an indication as to how they might behave as well. That's what I want you to be thinking your dog is communicating, so you can understand what your dog is going through, all right? If your dog's tail is horizontal, that's gonna be more of a neutral tail position. It can also be a friendly tail position depending on the movement of the tail, all right? So if your dog is doing this, then you know it's an indication of friendliness. If your dog's tail is coming down, it comes off its butt, it comes straight down, that can be a sign of uncertainty. Doesn't necessarily mean anything good or bad. It just means that it's uncertain about what's going on around it, and that's what you can understand your dog is trying to communicate. Once our dog's tail starts curling between their legs and up against their belly, or curling slightly between their legs, these are all indicators of insecurity and nervousness. So you need to understand that that's what your dog is trying to communicate at the time. And if you're taking your dog into a new place and it's showing these types of cues, these body signals with its tail, those are sure indicators that it's feeling uneasy, it's feeling insecure, it's feeling nervous about whatever's going on, that context that you're in. So take that into account. Don't push your dog into situations they're uncomfortable with. All right, the next body part that I want you to focus on is your dog's head area, okay? The ears, the eyebrows primarily. If the ears are forward, if your dog's ears are forward, that's going to indicate that dominance, confidence from your dog, so you can understand, okay, they're feeling confident in this situation, or they're feeling dominant, all right? It depends on the context of what you're in as to what your dog might be trying to exactly display, how they're feeling, or what they might do, but those ears forward indicate confidence, dominance. If the ears are more in a relaxed position, that's going to depend specifically on your dog, but once you see that relaxed position, you know your dog's being neutral, right? Nothing major going on. You can understand that your dog is relaxed, neutral, comfortable. When those ears get pinned back, pulled back tight against the head, that's going to indicate, depends on the situation again, but it could indicate insecurity, nervousness, could indicate submission even in some situations. So these are just some key points that you can pay attention to with your dog so that you can understand what your dog's feeling, and you can decide what you need to do in those specific situations. Sometimes you need to give your dog some guidance, something to do, some kind of commands, or maybe you just need to let your dog do what they're doing and just continue to observe their body language so you can understand what they're feeling. Just keep in mind your dog's a non-verbal being. You are a verbal being. So in order to really understand our dogs, we have to put ourselves into the mindset of non-verbal communication and really focus on what are they telling us, what are they teaching us, what are they communicating to us. If you guys have questions, comments, please put them in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know some potential scenarios you could be going through. And if you want a Q&A on scenarios, we can do that as well. So let us know. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.